This is really cool. So I've got a YouTube subscriber, was noticing really awesome comments from another YouTube subscriber and wanted to donate a 30-minute session to that YouTube subscriber. So I'm doing a 30-minute session donated from one YouTube subscriber to another. This is for El Wadio. And El Wadio, I'm so excited to be connecting with you. And thank you for all your kind comments here on YouTube. Thank you big time to the other YouTuber who did the donation. You guys are freaking awesome people. You're awesome people. Thank you. Thank you for being that way. Thank you for being a part of my life here on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna read your goals here out loud, El Wadio, and we're gonna get started, okay? So you say, hey Abby, the biggest of fans here. High five Joseph for me. He looks like the high-fiving type. Where to start? First of all, please thank the lovely person who assisted me with this gift voucher. I sent an email waxing lyrical on this. I would love to be able to thank them personally. Also, I'm very curious as to why they chose me. I'm not going into too much detail about the wonderful learning experiences my soul has chosen at some stages to be able to grow and learn from. The cheeky bugger. I used to say what doesn't kill you makes you stranger. Now I believe what doesn't kill you gives you a chance to see how strong you can be. Sigh. So, what a request for this journey is for you to contact my higher self with spirit or my guides. I assume they might pop in. And just to find out what I need to know, do, be, carry myself so I can readjust, realign what's needed. I don't want to assume again, but here we go. I'd love to be able to recognize my true nature effortlessly so I can be what I am as effortlessly as possible, and then walk, talk it, and carry myself as that in the most appropriate way for the highest good of all involved. $5 says I'm just told to eat more veggies. Love myself, quit smoking, and not judge others, including myself, too harshly. I'll be saving up some coin to get more sessions in the future. I'm looking forward to doing a double session with you and Joseph too. Love your work. Tell the YouTube audience for me that they are freaking awesome, beautiful, amazing, and worthy of true happiness and unconditional love. That's freaking sweet. Blessings to y'all. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Oh, I just watched one of your body healing vids on your website. Absolutely brilliant. You are a gem. Thanks for being you, putting in the effort to do what you do, being so badass yet so approachable. You're a gift for humanity, and in years to come, people will be sharing your vids as medicine for the masses. Utmost respect and gratitude. That is so cool. El Wadio, thank you for all of that. That was fun to read. And I can't wait to see what your higher self and spirit guides. I can't wait to see what this vibe and message is. So maybe they'll tell you to eat some veggies, maybe. All right, give me just a moment here. Contact my higher self with spirit or my guides. I assume they might be popping in to find out what I need to know, do, be, carry myself so I can readjust, realign what's needed. I don't want to assume again, but here we go. I'd love to be able to recognize my true nature effortlessly so I can be what I am as effortlessly as possible. And then walk, talk, and carry myself as that in the most appropriate way for the highest good of all. All right. I'm going to relax here and get tuned in. See what we discover. I love your energy. It's really fun. What is the most meaningful wisdom healing I can share with El Wadio, higher self guides, to get him realigned, readjusted, knowing who He is the I am concept, being able to be that fully. What's some awareness we can share? Very quiet for starters. And it's surreal beginning, okay? You would not be able to assume this. I wasn't able to. Okay, so there's a very elongated, it's like a coffin for somebody who's maybe 12 feet tall. It's a very long coffin, okay? It's standing upright, like in presentation, but nobody's inside of it. Or if someone is, the door is closed. It's not telling me for sure. It just says that's a coffin. And there it is, bam. And I'm going into the entryway. There's two massive double doors, like French door types, really pretty wood carvings in them. And they're open. There's this big coffin, there's the doors open, walking in, and it's a big black, like dark church, okay? And there's pews upon pews upon pews going all the way to the front, and everything's made out of like a black wood, black energy everywhere. And you're kind of going with the flow, like this. But you don't choose to take a step forward. You're just sort of standing, and you're just standing, okay? You're not going in. You're not judging the scene. You're not assuming anything. You're not asking yourself about the coffin. You're not asking any questions. You're just sort of standing here. Right place, right time. Let's see. Okay, I snap my fingers many times because I'm trying to get your brain to, it's like to be somehow alert or aware or to process something. I'm like kind of around your eyes, around your ear, around your head. It's almost like trying to alter brain waves in order to get you to snap into somehow you have a power or ability that makes you the individual who has some sort of set decision making on this place. Why are you in this place? What does this place mean to you? And you're just like this. And I'm working on activating you to have some sort of a presentation of yourself that is a statement of yourself and yourself's meaning with this environment. It's okay to judge it and say, this isn't for me, or what does this mean, or why does it have to be black wood and darkness? Why does it have to be a 12-foot coffin that's closed? Why do I have to be here right now? It's okay to ask these questions, you know what I mean? It's okay and it's sensible. But you're just like, it's going with the flow, but to such a degree that I find it's too neutral. I want to have more of your character. I want to have more of your sound. I want to have more of your assessment on this. My guides say just let it go. So you're going to be the kind of person. And let's just see where this place takes you. Not where you take yourself, but where this place is going to take you. There's no involvement, really. You haven't moved an inch, and the space is not moving either. It's almost like the ultimate stare down, and nobody blinks and nothing is happening, and now 1,000,000 years have gone by. A decision has to be made, and it's in your court. El Wadio. What's your choice? I mean, your decision it could be anything. It can make a nervous laughter if you wanted to. And it would make sense to me. I'd probably be nervously laughing myself. But it's not up to me, it's up to you. You whisper to me that you don't know how to go into this big place, but you're going to silently say that you're going to trust that this is the right place for you to be. You don't know how to know what it means to you. And if you wanted to go in, you aren't seeming to be able to help yourself go in. And I say, boy, who's driving the boat here? You choose to go in and then you go in. You keep holding yourself back. You need to have more of your, it's like your hands in the cookie jar of life. And you can go into this dark church and nobody has to judge you for that. And it doesn't even have to mean what we think it means. We could be pleasantly surprised, or we can judge it and say, I don't like the way this looks. I don't like the way this makes me feel. This isn't something that I want to explore in my life path. It's just not vibing with me. I'm out, you know? And so you got to get really tuned into what do you want? And then do that thing. And don't create any other space in between. The choice is to go in, you go in. It's not like the choice is to go in, but I'm not sure. But I don't know why I'm not going in. But, you know, whatever it might be. No, choice is to go in. Everything else is cleared from the slate. Like, choice is to go in, you go in, right? I feel like what's holding you back is the uncertainty of what might happen if you make a choice that visibly seems to be a bad choice, but you don't want to judge it as a bad choice, but you don't want to go in because, well, then maybe if you did go in, then you would find out for sure and then you wouldn't like it. And then, you see, so we're still in that place where you're holding yourself back. And I feel like we're making good progress because you're finally giving me even more detail. What's holding you back is now you're judging yourself for being open-minded to going into this dark church, which looks evil, okay? And you're judging yourself for being open-minded to going in there. And so it's the judgment of self that's preventing you from moving in there. But if your initial choice is to just let it be and to go in there, then there isn't room for a judgment of self for wanting to just simply go in there. Boy, this is a interesting dynamic here. We're going to have to become two versions of you. One of these versions is the you that wants to go in. The other version is the you that is judging you for wanting to go into a creepy place like this. Are you out of your right mind? Okay. So it's the you that you could say is your right mind, is judgmental. Okay. And the you that is not in your right mind is not judgmental enough. Okay. So you're not judgmental enough and then maybe too judgmental. And so you can't really make a movement because you can't just allow yourself to make a decision and then whether it's not judgmental enough or it's too judgmental, we just erase that, right? And then you're just you. Then you can be just you. But it's not easy to just be that, okay? So we're going to go the path of you're going to go in without too judgmental going with you, okay? And then you're going to go where too judgmental would take you, okay? So let's go where not judgmental enough. We're gonna take not judgmental enough, and we're gonna follow that you into this evil church, basically, because that's what you want to do. The you that's not judgmental enough would do this. Don't you like where this is going? This is a lot of fun. Okay. You have other yous that are like, as something is of yourself is left behind watching the not judgmental enough, you walk your way into a big giant mouse trap, and you go through the doorway, and it's like the mouse trap jaws are ready to consume you. And like, that big coffin. It was like that big coffin was God trying to tell you something, but you weren't listening. And then look what you just did. You walked in there and duh. Then you know that was going to happen. Not judgmental enough. Walked into a big mouse trap. Literally snap like this right on you. The whole place just becomes like literally like a mouse trap, and you just got stuck in it. But interestingly enough, that's not what happens. It's not what actually happens. It's what everybody was afraid would happen. And we're still all outside of this space, looking in at the part of you that walked into it. The not judgmental enough is in there. And he's looking around, okay, at everything. And he shrugs his shoulders, says, everything's fine. This seems to be fine. And waving all the rest of us in, which is like a lot of parts of yourself. They're always in conversation. But nobody really believes you. None of these other parts of you believe you at all. And we're starting to see that the wood coloring is changing. It looks more like a dark red color, like blood, okay? It turned from black to blood, the blood color. There's a big spirit in here. A big one. It's like, oh, we caught a big fish. We caught a big spirit in the dark evil church where the black pews turned to blood red pews. And the not judgmental enough is coaxing us all inside. Yes, we should take not judgmental enough's advice. That's what all this other you is like. And the too judgmental is like, I knew it. I knew it. is like this, okay? I feel this is actually a big step forward. And so we're going to understand who is this big spirit here. The spirit is echoing that you're in conflict and how to interpret, you could say, the depths of something of value. I guess holiness, like saintliness. The purity, the good. And then the twisted and the evil and the demonic. And you're trying to understand how, like, you don't have to be judgmental of that evil. It's just what we don't understand, right? So we are judgmental of what we don't understand. And we won't ever understand that until we take a step towards it. And then we find out for ourselves. But there's so much of you that doesn't want you to understand that, doesn't want you to take a step towards trying to interpret twisted, evil, spiritual concepts, okay? But there's one part of you that is trying to prove something to all the other parts. And it's just, let's not call it not judgmental enough. Let's just call it open-minded, okay? So now we're just going to change the name here. So the open-minded part of you is trying to help the judgmental parts of you, which are insecure, fearful, don't really understand, don't know how to understand, are trying to prove to the open-minded part of you that, see, you missed this clue or you missed this step, and this is why these things aren't working out, and then blaming. They're wanting to create blame of the open-minded you. So the open-mindedness of who you are, El Wadio, is to blame for, I guess, what the judgmental side is saying isn't good enough about your life, good enough about you in the world today, good enough about your where you're going in life. It's a judgmental, right? And there's a lot more judgmental And there's a lot more of the judgmental going up against you, the individual open-minded you. But as we can see, when we let the open-minded you take the walk, take the steps, is actually getting you further. But there's still this separation. And we need to get this resolved. Because the judgment should be coming right along with the open-mindedness. But they cut themselves off and treat you like a dumb idiot. It's like, there's Elwadio, that open-minded guy. Watch, see what happens to him. Ha, funny. What a dummy. He's going to go into there. What a dummy. Let's all stand here and watch and gawk at him as he just falls into the trap with his big spirit. What a dummy, you know? And you can't seem to get through to them how truly wise you are. So you're always made a mockery of by your own internal selves. And you have one self that is solidly open-minded and is also lighthearted, but has to develop the confidence, has to become more confident than all the others to bring them back into yourself so you all walk together. All open-minded. Or maybe they aren't open-minded, but they're choosing to come with you. They're choosing to be a part of this with you. So you, the open-minded one, this big spirit is sort of asking what it is that well, it's like, ask me for a wish, something like this. What do you wish for, or what would you like to receive today? Is wanting to grant you a gift for coming in here. This is not like your inner child either. Inner child is sort of innocently waltzing in. No, you were mature and you made the decision as a mature mind. And you went in here and you literally had zero judgment of anything going on in here. You're reflecting right now. You're not able to answer the big spirit yet. What's the big spirit look like? Just a big black shadow. That's what it looks like. So obviously the judgmental ones are going to say, why would you ask for a gift from that big black shadow? Are you nuts? Are you insane? Any gift that it would give you, it might as well be like a sting from a scorpion. Like, what kind of idiot would do that? So it's always kind of alluding to the butt of the joke. And now look at what you got yourself into again. You see, the rest of us, we don't make decisions like that. That's why we stick together. Kind of reminds me of the human race. We have the sheep and then we have the leader. And your open-minded self is actually a representation of the leader, and the judgmental selves are all the sheep. And they do whatever they can to break down your open-minded side. But you just kind of neutralize and you don't even judge them. But you don't know what to ask of this. You don't know what to say in response. And you do take this seriously. Without waver, like without judgment of what the spirit looks like or why is it in here. You're not judging literally anything about this. You say that you would like this church to, it's almost like dissolve its walls and be open to the sunlight. All the judgmental souls are starting to freak out here. Starting to realize they're like vampires. And the spirit says, done, like this, big clap, done. And I'm telling you, the judgmental selves are scurrying around like cockroaches, screaming. And the walls and the roof and everything are turning white, and everything is starting to dissolve and turn. It's like burning alive. And their eyes are red and they look like vampires, and they're scurrying like cockroaches, screaming at you for being so stupid. You're killing all of us. See how powerful your open-mindedness is? And you close your eyes, and it's like you say to God that you just want to find yourself. Just want to find yourself. And you don't want all this in the way. Feel like you've had, it's like one too many doppelgangers, and it's like, but they're kind of, they're not helping you, they're hindering you. And they're all like strings attached. And you don't want them. And you don't want their strings. And you want to just be you. And it's interesting because there's a lot of white dust, and it's very dusty. I mean, it's chalky in the air. It's hard to breathe. But something is uplifting about all of this, because what was is vaporizing into this dust. So yes, the dust is not settled yet to reveal just the open-minded you. So you can just be you now without all that noise and all that judgment. It's like resurrecting you to a much higher dimension. But the thing is I see this as kind of returning, like you're going to a higher dimension, but yet now you're kind of like, oh, well, it's like, yeah, higher dimension, cool and all, but I don't have to have all that. But I say, but now you're judging the higher dimension. And because of your judgment, you'll not ever be able to access it. You're like, whoa, I thought I was being open-minded and not judging the higher dimension by like being open-minded to all the dimensions, even the ones that maybe aren't the most desirable. I say, well, you judged it. You're thinking about this. I'm like, good to think about this. You kind of like start to cry, and you say, what is wrong with me? I say, I feel like you should just feel this right now, because everything is meant to be, and you're given this gift so that you would see yourself do this action, so that you can continue to explore who and what you are as this extraordinarily open-minded soul. But there's more to it than that, because we need to understand balance as well. And there's a deeper meaning to everything. And man, it's so chalky in the air. You can't conceive of yourself at a higher dimension. And you're not going to be judgmental of the lower dimensions, but you're going to, for some reason, withhold yourself from going to higher dimensions because they're overrated or something. You'll never be able to go to them if they're overrated. You are a part of those dimensions. They're actually a part of your body, your energy body. They're part of your soul. So you would be rejecting your own soul and saying the highest vibrational versions of yourself are overrated. I really understand the personality. Like, I understand where that's coming from. Most people would just want to be in the higher dimensions, and they would never they wouldn't know how to interpret or understand the value of lower dimensions. They would instantly reject the lower dimensions. So it's easy for you to be open-minded to the dimensions that most people would not be open-minded to. But because so many people are open-minded to the higher dimensions and not the lower dimensions, you find it overrated. But we're talking about not superficial. We're talking about depth. There's depth to higher dimensions as there's depth to mid-range dimensions and depth to lower dimensions. There's depth to who you are. And so say I'm ready for the depth of the highest dimensions. And I'm as open-minded to these as I am open-minded to the lowest dimensions. And once you give yourself the open-minded caliber to be open-minded to the depths of the highest vibrational dimension, the lowest vibrational dimension, everything in between, now you can be able to love. And I'm talking, like, this is coming up a lot about dimensional personalities, the dimension of knowing the spirit realm and the human world. Like, some personalities are about as meaningful and interesting as a square versus a cube versus a tesseract. Like, and so you need, it's like, be okay with the square mentalities. Be okay with the cube mentalities and tesseract mentalities and beyond. So love yourself for all your dimensional selves at all their depth and superficialness. And that's deep. That statement is deep. To love superficial and to love depth is even more open-minded. Even more interesting. Yes. We are starting this, like, you're kind of attached to a wheel that kind of goes around and around like this, but the wheel is now on the ground and is spinning around like this, okay? And then you are in the center of a wheel that was once horizontal, or is once vertical, is now horizontal, okay? And so you're just like in the center of this wheel now. But you don't want any separation. What does this wheel exactly represent here? Because I feel that when you hop off of it, it was like there's a floor of separation, and you don't want to feel or experience separation. You want to feel and experience wholeness. But the more wholeness you feel, the more dusty it gets in here. The more ashy and chalky. It's like licking a chalkboard, but worse, because it's like so thick with powder everywhere. The wheel represents many things to you. It's not just one answer. And it's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune. You don't just get one opportunity, you get many opportunities. You're jumping off the wheel because something about you are the wheel. You look like a human who was once standing on a wheel. Now it doesn't need the wheel, it's just is the wheel. You are the many opportunities. They don't spin around you and you just get one. You are all of them. You are all of them. I think that we're breaking a great deal down, and that's why it's getting so chalky, because when I do a session, we're breaking things down, literally. And the dust settles, and once that happens, you feel more clear, more tuned into yourself, self-aware, breathable. It enhances you, okay? And this is probably the thickest quantity of dust I've ever experienced before. It might have a meaning to something else too. Maybe you work with, I don't know, rocks or something. It's very chalky. You tell the big spirit, who is neither dark nor light, it just is a matter of fact spirit. And you say that you're interested in not just gaining the information or seeing things in new ways, but you want to become the meaning of the ideas that you are exploring. Like, you want to sort of sit in the throne of awareness. And we're talking about like an I am level, a holy oneness, like a saintly oneness with the all. But you want to have access to that in harmony with your human self. That's a very bold, strong, well put statement. And I feel like we moved well beyond those judgmental selves and not judgmental enough and blah, blah, blah. you're just your open-minded self right now, and you're just saying things as they are, but then period. There's nothing else need to be said. We don't need to fill in any gaps here. We make the statement, that statement is what you want. Then you say, well, do I want that? I want that 30%, maybe 70%, I want this. Like, you have to, we're human beings, you have to work with basic statements. And then you have to honor that statement. It's like, I want to take a trip to Hawaii. And then 50 years goes by and you never honored that statement. And you had opportunities and you could have done it. Like, but this is about you making decisions to make a choice to grow and expand what could be spiritual awareness or psychic development or who knows what it is. But it could be even making a bold decision to move from one town to another town. Like, all this stuff does circulate around. So when you make a statement, know that that's a true statement and that statement has power, and to give power to it. And let yourself be a part of the action now of that statement. Because your open-minded self is not just open-minded to learning, but is open-minded to action. The action that then builds the character of who you are, right? That's what I have to share. Pretty cool. Thank you, El Radio. Thank you to the YouTuber who donated that. Very cool thing. Very cool exchange. Really enjoyed sharing this and doing the session. I hope you all are doing great. And thank you all again. Have a wonderful day.